Welcome back to Beauty Marks Podcast, a space where we embrace our marks acquired through our journey. My name is Elizabeth Savion, and welcome to another episode of this podcast. So I'm kind of emotional on this podcast because I'm recording this prior to the weekend that I will be gone to Atlanta because my sister and my brother-in-law and my niece are moving to Atlanta. And so it is a bittersweet because I know that they are pursuing their dreams and doing what God has called them to do, but it's still like anyone that knows us, it's like we're very, very close. And over the past few months since my sister was pregnant, she was living with us, and just being able to be around my niece, and so I feel like I have enjoyed a lot this time being together and having her here, and literally would spend like a lot of my time with them. So this will definitely be an adjustment for sure, and it is sad, but we're going to be there supporting them, and they will find their way back. That's what we believe. But so we're going to be helping them move and just going over there and being there a few days. And I know that I will be back and forth. And that's why in the beginning of the year, I shared that this year was going to be a year of adjustment and kind of like preparing myself, because I knew it was going to be hard. And I'm sure it will hit me even more when I come back and there's like nobody at the house, so, and it's quiet, and it's going to be an adjustment for sure, but sending lots of love and prayers and all of that to them. And so this will be a short and sweet episode that I spoke about on my social media. And I feel like this is relevant to a message that I like to share and reinforce on my podcast, is about taking care of yourself and what that looks like in self-care. I actually got a shirt or a sweatshirt that says Self-Care Club from H&M. And I have literally wore that sweatshirt like so many times already. I don't know if you guys have that it's like you find like a sweatshirt, or it can be like sweats or a t-shirt that you like just repeatedly wear. Well, it's that sweatshirt. And I know we're in Florida, but I love that sweatshirt. I want to just talk about today about taking care of yourself and what that looks like, aside from like, of course, you can go get a massage, skincare, and sometimes that does make you feel loved and gives yourself like, makes you feel cared for. But it can also be in what we consume, habits we have, and boundaries that we have to place in order to take care of ourselves. And currently, I feel like for my self-care, it has definitely been sleeping 7 hours a night. That has been something that I have been implementing because, as you guys know, over the past year and so that I've talked on this podcast, I sometimes have insomnia and sometimes have really, really bad sleeping cycles, and then sometimes they're good. And so that has been a priority for this year, is like to get my sleeping on track and it's crazy what happens. So when you actually sleep your 7 to 8 hours per night, you really feel amazing. So aside from that, I have also been intentionally working out 4 days a week, and that has looked like weight training, cardio, and my salsa classes, which have been so much fun. I am actually already in salsa, the salsa intermediate 1. And so I have been probably doing it for like 3 or 4 weeks already, but it's been really fun, learning a lot, and just literally just getting so out of my comfort zone. But I feel like that's what I needed in this season of my life, to just do something really fun, something that haven't done before for myself. And it's been really nice to do. The other thing is making sure to consume content that inspires, encourages me. I know that social media can sometimes feel overwhelming. Like you feel like right when you get on your phone, it's like so much information and things trying to like take your attention. And sometimes that's heavy stuff. Like the other day, I I usually am really good at like not looking at my phone for like the first at least hour that I wake up, like not getting on social media or like going to my emails and all of that. But on this particular day, I grabbed my phone and that's the first thing I did. And the first thing that I saw was like terrible news. And I'm telling you that like threw off my morning. Like it was like, oh, like that like feeling of like just terrible things happening in the world just made me feel really, really sad. Like, um, and that was not what I should be looking at, you know what I mean? And so that was me being mindless about the content that I consume, because things can pop up on our feed. And so just being mindful of what our attention is going to and following things and listening to things that inspire us, encourage us. And I know that this world is rough and there's things in this world. It's not like if you can live in a bubble and pretend like nothing is happening. I just mean to protect that as much as you can, and of course, I think that you should be aware of what's going on, but maybe if I would have looked at that news later on in the day, I would have felt a little bit different about it, especially to start off my day. And also mindless scrolling. There got to a point because I create content like a lot for myself and for clients, it sometimes feels just like a creative burnout because there's so much content out there and there's so much like videos and information and pictures. And I have been intentional about not mindless scrolling, just like scrolling, like looking at people's stuff. And that has honestly helped me because I think that I had got to a point that it just felt like a creative burnout, to be honest. So that is something that I'm doing for my self-care. And maybe that looks like something that you can do for yourself, like limiting the time, your screen time, or those little changes on certain accounts, or at what time you get on social media. Definitely recommend. Also, not overcommitting myself to having a super busy schedule because remember, busy does not mean productive. Sometimes rest and taking care of yourself is considered productive. You just might not see it that way, but I promise you that is super productive when you are taking care of those things about yourself and taking a pause and resting and doing 3 things out of your list instead of 10 things, like setting yourself up in your days to be productive and successful on how that looks like for you. Another thing is that has been honestly part of my self-care that has helped me a lot is spending time with my family. And because my sister and brother-in-law and niece were moving, and I knew that from last year, this has been time to like intentionally spend time with them, and also spending time with just close friends and people that fill up my love tank, because I'm definitely a quality time kind of person, and people that just uplift me and all of that. Like that is super important to have. So I just want to remind you to take care of yourself this week, to do something for yourself, to give yourself extra love. And, think about how that looks like for you. Like what are either habits or things that you can do to take care of your mental, your physical, your spiritual health, because all of that, like we are holistic beings and there's so many parts of us that we have to take care of. And so maybe you haven't thought about your mental health in a while because you're just like working and focused, and maybe you haven't thought about your physical body because you are just consumed in other things. So it's like, just take a step this week, take a moment for yourself this week. Maybe that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour for yourself to do something that shows you that you care about you, something that you give back to yourself in the midst of the craziness. So I know this was a short episode, but I hope you got something out of it. I was thinking this past week that we are almost 3 months away from our 2-year anniversary of Beauty Marks podcast, and I'm brewing up some things. I am thinking of doing something really exciting, and I am looking forward to sharing it with you guys to possibly be a part of it. And I will be dropping little hints here and there. But thank you again always for supporting this podcast, for listening, for sharing, for subscribing, for leaving reviews. That means the world to me. And I hope you have a great week.